Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here another 10 pens currently inked up this week. I think let's go through these briefly one by one. We'll go through them in a little bit more detail and then we'll do a writing sample. So from left to right we have a Visconti Homo Sapiens London Fog, a Visconti Leonardo da Vinci Machina, a Visconti Chatterley Luxuries exclusive, and this is the Southwest. We have a Visconti Medici Il Magnifico in the red marble. We have a Visconti Medici Il Magnifico in the Lapis Lazuli. We have a Visconti Blue Ripple. We have a Visconti Daedalus. We have an Enoto Magna Carta. We have a Danitrio, and this is the Takumi Moonlit Grass. And we have another Danitrio, and this is a Maki-e Ancient Dragon with Flowers by Kogaku on Hyotan. So I think let's go through these pens in a little bit more detail now. This is the Visconti Homo Sapiens London Fog. This is a pen that I've had in my collection since 2016. This is a really nice pen. You do find it has this lovely sort of shavings of celluloid inside the body there of that demonstrator. It is aptly named the London Fog because London does have a lot of fog, so does the UK in general, and it has this lovely sort of greyish foggy cap and power vac knob. This is a power vac filling mechanism, so it's not a cartridge converter, it's not a piston. It holds around 2.5 millilitres of ink, has the Visconti hook safe lock mechanism there, and this has the older 23 cat palladium nib from Visconti. This is a fine nib, and I got this early on in my collecting days, and I have to say this is probably still the best fine nib I have in my collection. And I probably should have gone for a lot more fine nibs, maybe some more from Visconti, maybe some more 23 cat palladium nibs. I have got a few. They weren't as nice as this one, but I have to say I do love this one. Obviously you can post the cap there as well. It's a really beautiful pen. So I have this one inked up this week. I did have it inked up last week as well, but it's a beautiful pen. The next pen I have inked up is the Leonardo da Vinci Machina. Now, if you know the the Visconti Medici, comes with the acro silk brown, lovely sort of material there. This is also on this pen as well, on the Visconti Leonardo da Vinci Machina. You'll see here it has his signature there, Leonardo da Vinci, and it is a scrimshaw pen, so it has all of this lovely inscription going on there. It really is a stunning pen. It's not a cheap pen. Again, has the acro silk material there on the section. It has the newer 18 karat gold in-house nib from Visconti. This is a medium, but it actually writes, again, very similar to the fine 23 karat palladium nib that I have on the London Fog. I can post the cap if I want to. It does post quite deeply, but it is very back weighted because of this metal clip, which is actually quite heavy. So I don't post the cap on that pen. And as you probably know, I don't normally post my caps unless the pens are a little bit too short. The next pen here is, again, a pen that I had inked up last week. It's the Visconti Chatterley Luxuries Southwest, and this is a Chatterley Luxuries exclusive. It's made of celluloid. It's made of the same material that Visconti made the Speakeasy out of, and also the St. Basil as well. It's a beautiful celluloid of reds, blues, blacks. It just somehow binds together and just looks the part. There's quite a bit of chatoyance as well on that material. I just love it. It's got this lovely gold trim, gold nib there. It's an 18 karat gold, newer nib, in-house nib from Visconti with a medium nib. Now, this is a single reservoir, same as this one, the Visconti Leonardo da Vinci Machina. So they both have hook safe lock mechanisms, but it's a single reservoir power vac filler. So what does that mean? Well, the single reservoir will hold around 1.5 milliliters of ink. The double reservoir will hold around 2.5 milliliters of ink. So you get about another milliliter more out of that if you were to go for the double reservoir versions. The next pen here I have inked up is this one, and it's a Visconti, and it's a Medici Il Magnifico in the red marble. Very heavy pen, about 80 grams in weight, solid silver cap, solid silver power vac knob, solid marble for the body, and again a solid silver section. This has the older 23 cat palladium nib on there. I've got a medium nib, ABS plastic feed. You've got the hook safe lock mechanism. It's a single reservoir power vac. You can cap the post if you want to, but it's hugely back weighted because this is a heavy pen, and the cap weighs almost as much as the pen. So this is not going to be a pen if you are a cap poster that you will want to post, because it is going to be way too heavy, way too back weighted. The next pen here is the Visconti Medici Il Magnifico, and this is in the Lapis Lazuli, and this is very similar. Oh, nearly dropped it because it is heavy. This is a solid silver cap with a gold vermeil or gold plating. The power vac knob is the same. Solid marble or granite for the lapis lazuli stone, and also a solid silver vermeil there for the section. Again, another 18 karat gold nib from Visconti, in-house medium nib, hook safe lock mechanism. I do like this pen a lot. Again, you could post the cap on this, but it's going to be way too back weighted. I love the lapis lazuli stone. It adds a lot of character to this pen with the gold accents. I just love it. It's a really nice looking pen. The next pen I have inked up is this one. It's a Visconti, and this is the Blue Ripple. This is an older pen from Visconti, around the original dates, maybe a little bit before, I think, than the first watermark. It is a beautiful pen. It's not a demonstrator pen like the watermark, but it is really nice. So you can see here it says Visconti, and it just says Ripple. Now, you can see there the limited edition number 875 of 999. So that is quite a lot. But this comes in this one's a blue ripple. You can get a black ripple as well. I think there might have been a few other colors that you could get as well. But this is a beautiful specimen, and it comes with a an 18 karat gold nib from Visconti. This is the older nib. It's a medium nib. Now this is quite a heavy pen as well. It is a silver overlay, so, and then it's vermeiled or plated. So again, it is like the watermark from Visconti, quite a heavy pen. The next pen here is actually a much lighter pen, but this is the Visconti Daedalus. And the Daedalus, you'll probably remember from folklore. You've got the Daedalus there. You've also got the Minotaur there from the maze. And all of these here are mazes around the pen. This pen does actually have some silver dust impregnated into that resin, and you'll probably see it a little bit more there on that filling knob. It's a power vac filling knob. It's a really beautiful pen. So it is a power vac filler. It's a double reservoir, so you have the ink window there. You've got that sparkling there on the section as well, and then you have a 18 karat gold, no, actually 23 karat palladium nib there, actually. This is the older nibs from Visconti. It's a medium nib. It's a beautiful writing pen. I do like it a lot. Some of these I have seen with 18 karat gold nibs. That's why it just confused me a little bit. And also I've been getting a lot of 18 karat gold nibs from Visconti more recently as well. So that's the reason why. But that is a 23 karat palladium nib. And then we have this pen, and this is the Enoto. It's the Magna Carta. Now, the clip here is tarnishing, and I do like the colour of that tarnish. It's actually quite nice. Now, the Magna Carta from Enoto does actually have this beautiful inscription that is drawn throughout the cap and also the body of the pen. So you do have some of the wording from the actual Magna Carta. And then you have this lovely coat of arms as well. And you can see here it says Magna Carta on the cap band there. And it's 1215. And that's the year that the Magna Carta was signed. This is a solid silver pen. It does have a chromed silver, polished silver section. You have a number 7 size nib from Enoto there, and that is a fine nib. And I was half tempted just to go play it safe, get a medium nib, but I said to Fang, I want to try a fine nib. So when the London Pen Show came around, I got to try a fine nib, and I actually liked this nib. So I said, right, I'm gonna get this nib. I do like it a lot. So you will also see the silver hallmark there as well. You can see there, and also the limited edition. Actually, it's this way up, I think. Limited edition there, number. So it's a beautiful pen, very weighty pen because it's solid silver. It is a cartridge converter, but that doesn't bother me in any way. I actually prefer that it is a cartridge converter. Less can actually go wrong with a pen. Now, the next pen here is the Danitrio, and this is the Danitrio Takumi Moonlit Grass. This is a beautiful pen. So you basically have the moon up here in gold, and then you have the grass. So the grass is obviously lit by the moon. It's a beautiful pen. You can just see that there. It even has a urushi clip. It's actually urushied in akatamanuri-like finish. Lovely deep red there. Beautiful colour. And also you have the section that has some Maki-e on it as well, with some stars there. Absolutely beautiful. Comes with a Danitrio Fireball nib, and this is a fine nib, and I have to say I do love this nib a lot. Really, really good writing pen. I actually picked this up from a friend, William Shakur, in the UK. He was looking to downsize his collection a bit, and I saw this pen for sale, and I just knew that I had to get it. So I decided I would buy that pen and add it to my collection, and really keep that pen safe, because I really, really wanted that pen. I do absolutely love akatamanuri-like finish. So if I can get a pen with akatamanuri-like finish in, then I will do. The next pen here is another Danitrio, and again, akatamanuri-like finish. This is the Danitrio Maki-e Ancient Dragon with Flowers by Kogaku on Hyotan. Now, Hyotan is the model or shape of the pen. I'd say this is a little bit more of a blend between a Akatamanuri and Toki Tamanuri. It's a little bit more on the browner side compared to that one. So it's a little bit more browner than red. But Urushi does change its colour over time. So it will be interesting to see what colour this does turn depending on the base coat. Beautiful dragon there with wind. You can see there. And then you've got the flowers as well. You've got some lovely, I want to say grapes there in green. and you have a shield there. It's a beautiful, beautiful Maki-e pen. It has a lot of threads on it, but you can see there the Urushi section as well, and a number 6 size Danitrio Fireball nib. Again, just a perfect pen. I do like this. This is a medium nib, not a fine nib, but I have to say I like it a lot. So I have that one inked up with me this week as well. So I think with that, let's go and do a writing sample. So the first pen is the Visconti Homo Sapiens London Fog. So we'll do an ink swatch here. And you can see for a fine nib, this is actually quite a wet writing nib. And this is why I love this nib a lot, because I do like wet writing nibs. And this certainly doesn't really cause me any dryness whatsoever. So this is the Visconti. It's the Homo Sapiens, and it is the London Fog. And it is a fine, and it's a 23 cat palladium nib. And the ink in here is Pilot Iroshizuku, and it is Kon Peki, which is a nice coloured ink. And I would say that it is a little bit darker because I have left that in the pen for a while. The next pen is the Visconti Leonardo da Vinci Machina. So we'll do an ink swatch. And again, this is a wet writing nib. Now, this is a medium, but I find it writes a little bit more like a Western fine, but that's fine for me. So this is the Visconti Leonardo da Vinci Machina, and it is a medium, and it's the newer 18 cat gold nib from Visconti, and the ink in here is Akamon SBRE Brown. But that is a beautiful writing pen. So that's two very beautiful writing pens. The next pen inked up is the Visconti Chatterley Luxuries Southwest. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this is, again, another wet writing nib. And this is why I like the Viscontis a lot. Superb writing experiences, at least for me anyway. This is the Visconti, and this is the Chatterley Luxuries exclusive, and it is the Southwest. Now this has a medium, and it's the newer 18 cat gold nib from Visconti, and the ink in here is Mont Blanc Corn Poppy Red, which is a favourite red ink of mine. I still have a lot of bottles of it. I'm going to have a lot of bottles of it for a lot of years, but I am at least writing with it. The next pen is the Visconti Medici Il Magnifico in the red marble. So we'll do an ink swatch here. And again, another wet writing nib. Now, this isn't a 18 cat gold nib like the last two. It's a 23 cat palladium nib like the London Fog. So this is the Visconti Medici Il Magnifico, and it's in the red marble, and it is a medium 23 cat palladium nib. And then the ink in here is Pelican, Edelstein, and it is Star Ruby, which is a beautiful pink ink. It's one of several pink inks I like. I also like Diamine Amaranth, which is a darker pink. And I also like Pilot Washizuku Suji as well. The next pen inked up is, again, another Visconti Medici Il Magnifico in the Lapis Lazuli. And we'll do an ink swatch here. Again, another wet writing nib. If you like wet writing nibs, do try a Visconti if you haven't already, because typically most of them, at least the fine, the mediums, definitely the broads, are normally very wet writing nibs. So this is the Visconti Medici Il Magnifico, and it is the Lapis Lazuli, and it is a medium, and it is the 18 karat gold newer nibs in-house from Visconti. And then the ink in here is Pilot Washizuku Aji Sei. Now, people ask me, why do I like wet writing nibs? The more ink that you have that's coming from the tip of the nib onto the paper means that the pen is going to glide over the paper a lot smoother than it would if it was a dry writing nib. So that's the reason why I do prefer wet writing nibs, because you get a much more smoother writing experience. The next pen inked up is the Visconti Blue Ripple. So we'll do an ink swatch here. Now again, this is another wet writing nib. So this is the Visconti Blue Ripple, and it is a medium, and I'm just going to double check, it is the older 18 karat gold nib from Visconti, and I've just noticed I've got a whole lot of blue ink over my thumb and finger there. This is inked up with Diamine, and it is majestic blue, which is an interesting blue for sure. I do like that a lot. The next pen I have inked up this week is the Visconti, and this is the Daedalus. So we'll do an ink swatch here. And this is a lovely blue ink. And this is the Visconti Daedalus. And it is a medium, and it is, just double checking this again just to make sure, it is the 23 cat palladium nib. Now the ink in here is Visconti Blue, which is a lovely coloured ink. The next pen is the Enoto Magna Carta. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this is a beautiful writing nib. It's a fine nib, but I'd say it doesn't write as nicely as maybe the Visconti Homo Sapiens London Fog. But it is still a nice fine nib. So this is the Enoto Magna Carta. I'd say it has more feedback to this nib than maybe the Visconti does. and a little bit less bounce as well. So this is the Enoto Magna Carta, and it is a fine, and it is an 18 cat gold nib. And then the ink in here is Diamine Earl Grey, which is a beautiful grey, dark grey ink that I like a lot. The next pen is the Danitrio, and this is a Takumi Moonlit Grass. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this is a very wet writing nib. I like it a lot. So this is the Danitrio Takumi. Takumi is the model or shape. So Takumi Moonlit Grass. And this is a fine 18 cat gold nib from Danitrio. And the ink in here is Diamine Wild Strawberry, which is a favourite red ink of mine, along with Poppy Red from Diamine as well. And then the last pen inked up is the Danitrio Maki-e Ancient Dragon with Flowers by Kogaku on Hyotan. Now, I'm not going to be able to write all of that name because that is way too much of a name. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this, again, is a wet writing nib. It's a medium nib, though, from Danitrio. And I'd say that this red actually is a little bit brighter than the previous one. So this is the Danitrio, and this is the Ancient Dragon. And I'll put on here on Hyotan as well. And then the nib is a medium 18 cat gold nib from Danitrio. And then, strangely enough, the ink is also Diamine Wild Strawberry. So you can see how two inks that are the same inks but in two different pens actually look on the page. So that is quite a difference there. So I think let's take a look at these pens inked up one more time. So we have a Visconti Homo Sapiens London Fog in a fine 23 cat palladium nib inked up with Pilot Washizuku Konpeki. We have a Visconti Leonardo da Vinci Machina in a medium 18 cat gold nib inked up with Akamon SBRE Brown. We have a Visconti, and this is the Chatterley Luxuries Southwest in a medium 18 cat gold nib inked up with Mont Blanc Corn Poppy Red. We have a Visconti Medici Il Magnifico in the red marble in a medium 23 cat palladium nib inked up with Pelican Edelstein, and this is Star Ruby. We have a Visconti Medici Il Magnifico in the Lapis Lazuli in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Pilot Washizuku Ajise. We have a Visconti Blue Ripple in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Diamine Majestic Blue. We have a Visconti Daedalus in a medium 23 karat palladium nib inked up with Visconti Blue. We have an Onoto Magna Carta in a fine 18 karat gold nib inked up with Diamine Earl Grey. We have a Danitrio Takumi Moonlit Grass in a fine 18 karat gold nib inked up with Diamine Wild Strawberry. And then last but not least, we have a Danitrio Ancient Dragon on Hyotan in a medium 18 karat gold nib inked up with Diamine Wild Strawberry again. So there you have it. That's my currently inked pens for this week. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.